Hello and welcome to our Christmas craft video. My name's Charlotte and I'm one of the visiting artists at Bristol Children's Hospital. The arts programme at the hospital is called Arts Unleashed and is supported by the Grand Appeal charity. Because things are a bit different this year, we've prepared some special craft packs for you so you can still enjoy taking part in creative art activities while you're in hospital. Let's have a look at the packs. So you'll see when you get your craft pack, there are some lovely Fimo modelling clays, which you can use for making your own decorations and gifts and models. There's a lovely selection of colours and we're going to be having a look at how to use those in a moment. In your pack, there's also a roller and a modelling tool that you can use to help you make your Fimo decorations. And we've also included some written instructions. There are some project ideas there and lots of tips to help you get started and create your own amazing Fimo decorations. A few other little bits we've included for you. There are some ribbons so you can hang up your decorations like this. And there's a straw that's really handy for making patterns, and there are also some card template shapes that you can use for making Christmas shapes. And we've also included a box for you that you can store your models in, so when you finish your work just pop it in there and then you can keep them. So Fimo is an oven hardening modelling clay, and it feels a bit like plasticine. It's very squashy when you start to use it, but when it's baked in an oven, it sets permanently hard like this. So don't worry if you can't get to bake your models straight away, just store them in the box, they'll be absolutely fine, or give them to somebody in your family to take home for you. But Fimo will keep for a long time, so don't worry if you can't do anything with it to bake it straight away. So I'm going to start by showing you how to make one of these really easy Christmas penguins. And so I'm going to start off with some black Fimo. I don't need all of it, so I'm going to cut off a little piece like that. I'm going to use about 3 strips. I'm going to just squish it into a ball, go round and round to make a smooth ball shape, and then press it with my fingers like this. So there we are, it's a kind of oval shape we're after, so I'm going to use the roller just to get it a little bit flatter. And I'm after something about 5 millimetres to 3 millimetres deep. I don't want it to be too thin and fragile. So that looks about right. And then I'm going to wipe my fingers. You can see there's a little bit of black on the end of my fingers. So if you can get yourself some wet wipes, that's ideal just for keeping your hands and your tools clean. And then I'm just going to dry them with a bit of paper towel, and I'm going to get some white. I don't need very much, so about not a whole strip, about 2/3 of a strip now. And I'm going to do the same thing again, roll it round in my hands into a ball, press it flat, and then press it onto the penguin's tummy. And I can use the roller just to help get that a little bit smoother. And if you want to, you can pull out the shape with your fingers, you can lift it and stretch it. There are so many different ways that you can make different shapes and effects with Fimo. So it's very, very easy and soft to work with. So next up, let's just do some little eyes for him. I'm going to roll some tiny balls. You'll find when you're working with Fimo, if you want to, you can go really small and get some nice details. There we are, 1, 2. Oh, he's got quite big eyes, but that's okay. Let's make that a little bit smaller. I'm trying to get 2 eyes that match. You don't have to use black. You could use another colour if you want to for your penguin. You could do a purple one or a red one. I'm using black because it's a bit easier for you to see what I'm doing, but yeah, it doesn't have to be black. And then I'm going to get my pencil and just poke a little hole in the middle. So if you can get yourself a pencil, that's quite a useful tool. You might have other things at home or around you that you can use as well, like pen tops. Felt pen tops are quite useful for making circle patterns, or you can find things with interesting textures to press into the clay. So next There we are. I'm just going to add some little feet. So just do this really simply. 2 little orange balls. I'm going to press them onto the bottom of the penguin's body like that. Okay, so he's got some feet, and then last, let's just do his beak. I'm going to get a little piece of Fimo like that, flatten it with my finger, and then I'm going to cut a triangle. So these modelling tools are quite handy for cutting straight edges. There, so we've got a little beak. So he's almost finished. A couple of wings, and then the last thing I'm going to do is make a hole so that the penguin can be hung up with a ribbon. So and you do that after the Fimo's been hardened. So let's finish him off with the wings. There, and then a little hole in the top. So that hole just needs to be big enough so that when the Fimo has been hardened, you can fit a ribbon through it and hang them up. So with the baking, it needs to go into the oven at 110 degrees for 30 minutes. It's not a particularly hot oven, but do always get an adult to help you do that, and wait for the Fimo to cool down before handling it. So then what you would do is you'd be working on baking paper, which is provided in the packs. Just lift up the paper and pop it into the box. I'm going to lift him up very carefully with a modelling tool. Up you go, onto a little piece of card. And we've also provided you with some pieces of cards. So if you make more than one decoration, you can stack them up together in your box. Off you go into the box, and he can stay there until it's time for baking. So I'm going to quickly wipe my tile, and you would start then with a new piece of baking paper so that you've got a clean work surface. And I'm quickly going to show you how you would use one of these card templates. You can also make your own. We've supplied you with a couple in the packs, but it's very easy to draw out your own shapes, and it's really useful if you want to make 2 or 3 of the same shape decoration. So I'm going to just get a little bit of 3 different colours, and I'm going to roll them into snake shapes. There we are, like this. And then I'm going to twist them together. So Fimo clay is really lovely for making marbled patterns and stripes. It's really interesting, and it's different every time you do it, so it's always a nice surprise. I'm going to squash them together like that and then twist them round. Can you see we've got something a bit like a stripy marble pattern? I'm going to go round and round in my hands to get it really smooth, and then roll it like that to make it more of a sausage shape, or you could do it on your work surface if that's easier. And then I'm going to twist it round. You get a really interesting stripy effect. And then I think I'm going to twist it again just to see what happens and scrunch it up. It is different every time, so let's see what this looks like. And then I'm just going to twist it to get more of a stripy effect. So keep going until you're happy with your design. And oops, got a bit of white in there. There we are. So that's quite a nice pattern. It'll be different on each side, so choose the side that you prefer. I think I quite like that side. And then just stretch it so you're after something that's slightly bigger than the card template. And I'm just going to pop it down on top. It just needs to be a little bit bigger. So you can see with the Fimo you can lift it up and pull it, which is another way to stretch out the surface. And again, that's about 3 to 5 millimeters deep, not too much thinner than that. Just going to very lightly place the template onto the surface of the Fimo. Don't press it down too hard or it might stick. And of course, if you were doing this at home, you could use cookie cutters, and there we are, let's lift it up. Because you might find that you have some leftover materials that you could take home with you. So if you're at home doing Fimo clay, then see if you've got cookie cutters or little things at home that you can use to make shapes. there. So I'm fairly happy with that. And you could add other little shapes onto it. You could make some stars or snowflakes, but that's just quickly to show you how you can make a stripy pattern. And then again, what I would do is make a hole near the top so the stocking can be hung up and pop it into the box. I'm very quickly too just going to show you how to make a candy cane. So while we've still got some stripy material, this is the ideal time to do it. I'm going to roll it round into a thin snake shape. Let's make it a bit smaller. And these make lovely decorations for the Christmas tree. And can you see, if you twist it round and round like that, you get a much more striped effect. And then all you need to do is curl the top round like this. I'm going to trim it so we've got a neat end. There we are, so you can see that's a candy cane. So hopefully that's just a starter for how you can make decorations out of Fimo. There are lots more ideas in the pack, and as you're working with Fimo, I'm sure you'll find your own ways to create some lovely Christmas decorations. I'm going to show you a few more examples of things that you can make with Fimo clay for Christmas. This decoration here is made by cutting a tree shape and then adding some sparkly icing on top with little decorations. You could try making a Christmas pudding. Again, it's got the lovely frosty icing on top with little holly leaves and berries. You could try making a Christmas tree. This is really simple. Cut a triangle from Fimo and then decorate it in different ways. Or you could try something like one of these Christmas characters. This one's got a reindeer's face on it, but you could do anything you like. Fiddly shapes like ears and antlers are easier if you press them onto a background. So make your background first and then add the face on top. You could try making some Christmas characters like this. We've got Santa and one of the elves. Or you could try a little model penguin like this. All the instructions you need for making model penguins are on your activity sheet packs. Try using different colours. Like we said earlier, the penguins don't have to be black, they could be multicoloured. We've got some different ones here. Make little bobble hats for them and stripy scarves. And you could try making something a bit more complicated like this gingerbread house. Cut out the shape and then decorate it with little sweets and miniature candy canes. So there are just a few more ideas for things that you can use Fimo clay for. So I hope you all have a lovely crafting Christmas and you enjoy your activity packs.